90% of agency owners I speak to have the same big problem. They can't attract leads. So how is it possible some agency owners book hundreds of calls a month? Well, over the years, one common pattern I see with successful agency owners is that they have this one thing in common. They all have an awesome funnel or process for attracting and converting leads. In order to best explain this concept, I want you to think of a cake. So there's lots of different ingredients that can go into thousands of different variations. The base, the cream, the jam, and maybe even some icing. But on their own, those 5 layers really aren't anything special. But when you put them all together with the cherry on top, you can create something really special. And the same thing really applies to your lead funnel. You can use ads, a lead magnet, organic content, cold calls, or even walk around holding a billboard. The important thing is that you need to be strategic. Find the perfect combination and layer them in the right way so that you can get the best results. So today I'm going to explain exactly how to bake your very own lead conversion cake so that you can fill your agency's calendar full of the right leads. So let's pick your first ingredient. The most important ingredient is understand your avatar and really be unique to them. Being able to actually articulate what they are feeling and what they are experiencing better than they have ever been able to articulate it themselves. Being able to talk about their challenge in a meaningful way that allows for them to feel like you understand it better than they understand it, that you're able to say something that they may not have even admitted to themselves. And when you do this in a really phenomenal way, you're able to really connect, inspire, motivate your ideal prospect, really being able to understand them in a meaningful way. It's incredibly important that you are not broad, but really purposeful in who you're going after here. Being able to really have clear messaging is incredibly important here. Make sure that this is the first thing that you are considering in your entire funnels. Who are you talking to? Whose eyes are going to be looking at this? And ultimately, who are you looking to attract? And what challenge are you solving? Your cream filling is the next step. What exactly is your traffic source? How do you get in front of your ideal client's eyeballs? Do they already exist? And so here's an incredibly important piece is sometimes there's this misalignment in utilizing a specific channel to try to generate traffic, but recognizing that ultimately your ideal client doesn't actually exist there. So that's the first thing that I want you to be thinking about is where does your ideal client live? Now that you have that persona detailed out, that avatar very clear, where do they spend their time? How do they consume information? Being able to be in front of where they already are, recognizing that there's a discernible difference between blue collar workers and white collar workers, people that are in the field versus people that are behind a computer all day long, and recognizing that how you get in front of those people is going to be incredibly different. There's also a discernible difference between SMBs and enterprise-sized clients, their decision-making criteria, how they go about evaluating, and where they consume information. Also making sure is that traffic source, that channel that you're utilizing, what do they even perceive about that channel? Is it something that they respect? Is it something that they utilize? Is it something that they don't actually like? And recognizing that as you attach your brand, yourself, to that specific source, that it's incredibly important that they have some kind of affiliation with it and that their eyeballs are already there. Otherwise, you're going on an uphill battle trying to find the right person on that traffic source. So make sure that when you think about who and what channel you're utilizing, be it organic, be it paid media, be it affiliates, be it a partner network, it doesn't matter. But make sure that your avatar already exists there and that there's a lot of them there and they already consume information in that channel every day. So this next piece brings zest to your cake, the jam. I want you to really get deep in this particular area, recognizing your avatar. What information do they need to collect to be motivated to want to engage with you? So at this stage, you need to recognize the amount of skepticism that they currently have. Where are they in business? Did they just get started? Have they been in business for 10 years? What information do they need to know in order to want to commit time to speaking with you? Your urgency is so much higher than theirs. Recognizing that it is incredibly important to not try to push them, but to lure them, to provide them with the information that they need at different stages. Always recognizing that there's some sort of next step that they should be taking. You need to build relationship. You need to build rapport. You need to build authority. You need to build respect. And how do you go about doing that? The best way to go about doing that is providing them with value. In my experience, looking at how can you get them to just shift their worldview. Even just by a fraction of a percent allows for you to be remembered by them, recognizing that it is incredibly important that they may not be in a place that they are ready to engage, and recognizing how do you have the bucket of both the now buyers and later buyers? Are they ready to buy now or are they not? And recognizing that how can you actually be in front of them, guide them, provide them with value, and allow for you to build that rapport with them. So think about the strategy that you have here and making sure that you're doing it in such a way that doesn't feel forceful, but feels like you are there as a guide, as an advisor, as a consultant for them, where the real high value work comes in for your client, and recognizing them, meeting them where they are, is incredibly important here. So now the icing, a lot of people's favorite bit. What I want you to be thinking about is each different stage of the funnel: awareness, consideration, decision. How do you continue to get in front of your client? So let's say that you are running Facebook ads and you have a lead magnet offer and they've downloaded that lead magnet. But let's say on the thank you page where they could book a call, they didn't, and they've gone somewhere else. Or let's say they got the lead magnet, they opened it. What happens next? Do you call them? Do you send them another email? Do you retarget them? What exactly are the mechanisms that you use to continue to stay in front of them? Recognizing that you're not just going to snap and have that respect, that rapport, that you need to continue to be thinking about every single potential exit point and what information needs to be served for that future client in that moment, recognizing that there's a way for you to continue to provide value to them at loads of different stages in the funnel, making sure that you're always thinking about how to provide that maximum amount of value. Here's the thing I want you to be thinking about here. I want you to be able to provide a value bomb. I want you to be able to provide them with a piece of information that allows for them to see the world differently and enact it, have impact today. Here's the takeaway, is that if you're able to provide impact now and you haven't engaged with them, their opinion is going to be, well, what happens when I actually engage with them? How much impact can they have then? It's incredibly important for you to think about, how do you continue to provide value? How do you provide that value bomb for them and allow for you to continue to build that rapport, that respect, and elevate yourself to the point of advisor? Really being able to make sure that you think about all the potential exit points. How do you continue to provide value? And what is the content that you're going to serve up to them to allow them to evaluate you? So now you know your avatar, you know exactly the challenges and who you're going to be talking to. You figured out the traffic sources that you're going to utilize, and you have exactly what your offer is going to be and that value that you're going to provide. You've considered the exit points and understand exactly how you're going to nurture them. So now we need to put together the technological components and start to build out your funnel. And so here's what I want you to do. Our starting place whenever we build them is starting with a Miro board or a whimsical or something along those lines, where we have determined exactly listing out what are the traffic sources that we are going to be utilizing, understanding that initial offer that we have. What happens if they do not engage with that offer? Do not opt in, but they did click on the link? What happens once they have opt in? What is the secondary offer? Do we have them book a call? Do we have them watch a video? What exactly are we doing? And let's say that they do end up booking a call. Do they end up doing the thing that we asked them to do? Great. Let's say that they don't. What is it that we do then now? Do we email them? Do we call them? Exactly what we're building out. And so here's the important component to then thinking about is, one, do we have the technology to allow for us to build the landing pages, the mechanisms to remind us to call, the mechanisms to then create the emails, also recognizing that each one of these pieces requires content creation. So do we have the email sequences already set up? I want you to be thinking about all the different pieces to this project plan. So now that we have the strategy, now that we have all the pieces that we need to be thinking about, let's start to build out this funnel. We have the strategy, we're very clear on what we need to do, and now we need to make sure that we have all the different pieces actually put together. My first place is always building out one of these boards that allow for us to be able to see and then start to delegate the components need to go to. So going to the developer, going to your copywriter, making sure that you're able to build out the content and all the components to building out this funnel to allow for it to work in a seamless fashion and largely, hopefully, without you. So now you understand the layers of the lead conversion cake. So your calendar should start filling up with meetings. But how do you actually go about structuring those meetings and start to sell? Well, check out this video here to learn my $100 million system for closing agency clients.